In today's video, we're going to be looking at the top 10 most game-breaking guns in Call of Duty history. The first half-ish of this list is going to be what people traditionally think of as the best guns ever, the overpowered guns. However, the second half of this list is when things start getting truly disgusting and deplorable. We're talking absolutely broken, unfair guns. Also, this list is objectively true, so there is just no disagreeing. But if you think I may have missed a gun, or you just do want to disagree for no reason at all, definitely leave your opinions in the comments down below. Gameplay credits are going to be linked in the description as well as in the video themselves. Enough time wasting. Let's start with number 10. Coming in at the number 10 spot, we have the ACR from Modern Warfare 2. Now, you know when we're starting the top 10 list of the most broken guns in COD history with the Modern Warfare 2 ACR, that it's gonna get absolutely crazy. Now, Modern Warfare 2 was an absolutely broken game in terms of balancing. I mean, seriously, everything was overpowered in that game, and this gun rose above them all. I mean, it was an absolute laser beam. It had literally zero recoil. Now, usually in COD games, when they have the low recoil noob gun, they tend to make it pretty slow time to kill, just so it's not super overpowered. But Infinity Ward really just said, okay, and they made it have one of the fastest time to kills in the game for absolutely no reason. Now, the ACR was a 4-shot at most distances, but obviously you put on stopping power, now it's 3-tapping everywhere. It had 789 rounds per minute, which is extremely fast for an AR. So let me get this straight. One of the fastest time to kills and zero recoil. It literally had no downsides. Honestly, there's just not much to say about the ACR. It's the Modern Warfare 2 ACR. We all know it, we all love it, and it's number 10 in our list. Also, for the weirdos saying the Modern Warfare 3 ACR is better, find help. The best way to tell if someone is really a Black Ops 2 veteran is to ask them what they think the best gun in the game was. Now, if they say the AN-94, then you know they're absolutely wrong. I mean, seriously? No, the M8A1 is easily the most dominant gun in Black Ops 2. I mean, maybe you could argue the FAL, but seriously, just no. An elite M8 player is untouchable. Now, the M8 was a 4-round burst that had a rounds per minute per burst of 1,250 and an overall RPM of 789, which again, for a burst is so good. Now, at most ranges, it was a 4-shot kill, which was incredible for how fast it shot. Not only that though, usually bursts kind of suck at close range. Well, Treyarch decided to make it do 35 damage at close ranges, so it actually 3 shots at close range. So not only is it amazing for medium and long range, it also doesn't have the same weaknesses that every other burst does by sucking at close range. And of course, it was a burst, so it had zero recoil as well, and still handled just like all the other ARs. The M8 absolutely dominated in Black Ops 2. And Black Ops 2 had a lot of really good metas and weapons, so you know that if it was dominating, it was really good. I mean, the sound of the M8 still gives most BO2 players absolute flashbacks to getting dogged on by 13-year-olds screaming slurs at them. Coming in at number 8 is the Black Ops 1 FAMAS. Not only did this gun look absolutely amazing, especially with that classic BO1 gold, but it also ripped for literally no reason. Now, the FAMAS in Black Ops 1 was fully auto, unlike it was in Modern Warfare 2, and it was way better because of that. It did 35 damage and shot at 937 rounds per minute, coupled with a range of 37.5 meters, meaning it was literally untouchable in Black Ops 1. The FAMAS did get nerfed in the Annihilation map pack, but we're talking pre-patch here, where it had zero recoil to go along with that. The FAMAS also had literally zero competition in Black Ops 1 at all. There was nothing even close to being as good as it, making it probably the most dominant gun in any COD game of all time as well. Coming in at number 7, I just want to give a quick trigger warning because seriously, this gun makes me flinch every single time I hear the name. And it's the Modern Warfare 2019 725. Even though this gun got nerfed like 283 times, Infinity Ward were actually so scared to balance their game that each nerf would be like minus 0.3 meters to the range, and we're adding 13 milliseconds to the ADS speed. This was probably the most versatile shotgun of all time. You threw on a sawed-off barrel and you were untouchable within 10 meters. You put a long barrel on and it became a sniper. I mean, how can you defeat that? It's not like any of the overpowered guns really require any skill, but this is literally the definition of a no-skill gun, which is why it was so problematic. I mean, you could literally have no thumbs and pick up the 725 and still probably do pretty good with it. I'm wrapping this one up. I don't want to trigger people too much. I'm sorry. I know that this probably ruined your whole day just hearing about this gun again, and I just want to apologize again. Let's get on to number 6. Coming in at number 6, we have the best SMG in Call of Duty history the World at War MP40. Now, the World at War MP40 actually just makes no sense. Treyarch just being Treyarch, I guess. There's nothing else you could say. It did 59 damage per bullet, meaning it's just regularly a 2-shot kill, while every single gun is a 3 to 5 shot kill. Just because why not? Not to mention, it just one tap to the head at any range. At any range. And this was without stopping power. So basically in the older CODs, you had stopping power and juggernaut perks, which were essential. Stopping power did 40% more damage, while jug made you take 25% less damage. So naturally, most people would use stopping power. Stopping power would make your 4-shot SMG turn into a 3-shot, but the MP40 is 2-shotting without stopping power. And then you put on jug and you were just absolutely unkillable. Not only that, but you could throw a 64-round mag on it as well, because like, why not? Just might as well have everything. I mean, overall, it was just absolutely disgusting, and it also sounded absolutely disgusting too. It was truly a plague on World at War. I can only imagine what World War II veterans went through. Coming in at number 5, we have the best burst weapon in COD history. It's the COD 4 M16. Now, I didn't play much COD 4 because I was too young. However, I did play plenty of Modern Warfare Remastered to tell you how insane this thing was, and it was probably even better in COD 4. Now, the M16 is a 3-round burst that dealt 40 damage per bullet with a range of 42 meters, so pretty much most maps. It had an overall RPM of 459, but with 937 per burst. Now, this might not seem so good, but if you added stopping power, it became a 2-shot. And if you're good, you usually won't even need more than one single burst to kill players at any distance. It also had 0 recoil, as most bursts do. And coupled with the general gameplay style of COD 4, it was just dominant. If you're in a 12-player lobby, 8 of them are using the M16 guaranteed. It was also unlocked at level 1, meaning everyone had it as soon as they started the game. If a good player got their hands on it, it was wraps, as they were literally untouchable. You can't peek them, you can't chow them, you can't do anything if they're holding the M16. Now, before we move on to number 4, I just want to say that 10 to 5 officially wraps up the first category of weapons. This first tier contains the most overpowered guns in their respective games, and even though they were obviously all extremely dominant, they were still for the most part functioning how they were supposed to as guns. However, these next 4 guns are in a tier of their own, and all of them are not functioning how they were intended to. I mean, they all were extremely broken beyond repair, which is why they were extremely mystical and why they're in their own tier. So without further ado, let's get into number 4. Coming in at number 4, we have the pre-patch Proteus from Infinite Warfare. Now, the Proteus was a sniper shotgun hybrid released in Infinite Warfare that worked obviously as a sniper when you ADS and as a shotgun when you fired from the hip. Now, statistically, there's literally nothing impressive about the Proteus, and when it was added, players did not think anything of it. However, Infinity Ward, for some reason, actually did not even playtest the gun. I mean, I can't really blame them. Who wants to play Infinite Warfare? That game is garbage. However, when you fired the Proteus from the hip, it just had aimbot. Like, I'm not even exaggerating or making it had aimbot. You could not miss when it was firing from the hip. If someone was on your screen and you shot the gun, it killed them. Now, you might be asking, why isn't a literal aimbot gun higher? Why is it only at 4? I mean, seriously. Well, there's 2 reasons. One, because each shot actually only had 4 pellets and only one would be a guaranteed hit. So in core, it wasn't really doing that good. In hardcore, where players had 30 health, it was one tapping no matter what. I mean, you literally just could not beat that. And the second reason is that it's an Infinite Warfare gun, bro. I'm not putting an Infinite Warfare gun in my top 3. Imagine you click on a video about the top 10 most game-breaking guns of all time, and you have an Infinite Warfare gun in the top 3, but I'm not putting it any higher because Infinite Warfare, look, if you were playing Infinite Warfare in the first place, you probably deserved it. Now, I know I just said I didn't want a gun from a crappy COD game to be in the top 3, but I actually just cannot put the pre-patch Whitley from Vanguard up here. Now, the Whitley was a 2-shot LMG, which you could throw a 150 round box mag on it. This definitely does seem pretty good, but how is it number 3? I mean, better than the aimbot sniper? Well, there are 2 reasons why. One, Vanguard maps were made out of paper. I mean, you could literally shoot through anything, and the Whitley had the best wall penetration. And number 2, in Vanguard, there was a perk called Piercing Vision, where if you shot near a player, not even hit them, just near them, they would light up through the wall. I mean, seriously. And I'm sure you can imagine that all you did with the Whitley was sit in a corner and just spam shooting all throughout the map, and eventually people would light up and then you would just shoot them through 18 walls. There was no counterplay. You couldn't you had to use it yourself. For the few weeks before it got nerfed, you literally could not compete with this gun. It also happened near the start of Vanguard, and I'm sure countless players literally quit Vanguard and made it a dead game simply for the sole reason of the Whitley, and I don't think many guns in COD history can say that. Coming in at number 2, we have the second gun from Modern Warfare 2019 on this list, that disgusting game. It's the AS-FAL. Now sure, the AS-FAL was pretty great, but why is it number 2 on this list? Well, there was an evil glitch that involved a new ammo conversion, the SPP 10 round mag. This mag would basically make your bullets ignore walls, meaning they could travel across the whole map through an infinite amount of walls without any drawbacks. When you couple this with snapshot grenades, which made players visible through walls, you can imagine how absolutely game breaking this is. I mean seriously, you just throw your snapshot grenade, the enemy team lights up, and you just shoot them through walls, through rocks, through cars, through anything, like it was absolutely nothing at all. Now, it didn't last too long before it was fixed, but during this time, S&D on Modern Warfare 2019 was literally unplayable, as half the lobby was doing this, and if you weren't, you might as well just have turned off your console and enlisted in the military in real life, because that was the only way you're about to get a kill. So before we get into the number 1 spot, we're gonna have some honorable mentions. Up first, the BO4 Stingray. Now, it was a burst gun that had an ammo conversion mod that turned into a 2-round explosive burst, which you can imagine just reeked up Black Ops 4 more than it already was, and that is really saying something. Next, we have the World War II launch bar. Now, the bar was absolutely despicable throughout all of World War II, but especially at the launch, it was even better. I mean, it had 0 recoil, insane range, and a 3-shot kill when most other weapons were 4+ shots. So for all the 12 people that played World War II at launch, I'm really sorry you had to experience that. Oh yeah, the bar too. The bar is pretty annoying too. Up next, we have the Cold War Tech 9. Now, the Tech 9 was a DLC weapon in Cold War that was originally a 3-round burst. However, it had an ammo conversion that made it automatic, but for some reason, did not change its damage at all. So it was a 3-shot SMG, which would be great in most games, but in Cold War, which was the slowest time to kill game of all time, when most SMGs are 4, 5, 6-shotting, it was absolutely disgusting. It just broke Cold War. More than it already was, obviously, because that game was Up next, we have the Vesper. Now, I'm talking about a very specific version. Now, you remember that one update in the summer of 2016 that nerfed the Kuda for absolutely no reason when it was the 2nd best SMG? Yeah, I know you do, you freaking Kuda user. But not only did that patch nerf the Kuda, it also removed all recoil from the Vesper for absolutely no reason, meaning the fastest time to kill SMG in the game now also had 0 recoil. It ran absolutely rampant in Black Ops 3 for like 1 week before it was nerfed. And lastly, we have the Jitter mod Brecci. Now, the Brecci on its own, honestly, you could have an argument for it being on this list. I just don't personally think so. But the Jitter mod Brecci absolutely would be at the very top of this list. However, I mean, it's Jitter mod. It is literally hacking. So I'm not going to put that in the top 10. I mean, at that point, I might as well just put actual hacking in the top 10 because, well, I mean, any gun is pretty good if you hack. So I'm not doing that. That's why the Jitter mod Brecci is not on this list, but it still deserves an honorable mention. Now, I know most people, they already know what's coming in at number 1. So sorry, it was maybe a little bit anticlimactic. But if you don't, I'm sorry to tell you, you're not actually a Call of Duty veteran if you don't know the gun I'm about to say. You clearly have touched too much grass in your lifetime. So at number 1, we have the pre-patched model 1887s from Modern Warfare 2. Now, these were dual shotguns that shot 8 pellets each that would kill from almost any range and required no accuracy. Now, I did not say that wrong. They killed at almost any range. They were absolutely broken into the ground that you could shoot someone with these shitty ass, old ass, cowboy ass, Red Dead Redemption 2 ass guns from 30 meters away, and they would just die. The biggest downside of the models was that after every single game you played, you had to take a shower in order to avoid catching serious toxic diseases. The guns were so broken that as you were getting dunked on by them, they would be apologizing to you in game chat saying, yo, sorry you had to deal with this, bro. I'm not even trolling, that actually happened. Now, these guns are absolutely despicable, absolutely deplorable, absolutely disgusting excuses for balanced weapons in an Infinity War game. I mean, they're the main reason that people say Modern Warfare 2 is so broken. And even after they got patched, they were still good. Like nowadays, if a gun's overpowered, they patch it into the ground. But back then, I mean, man, we were still pretty good. Well, that is gonna wrap up my list of the top 10 most game-breaking guns in COD history. If you enjoyed, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new around here. Let me know if I missed any in the comments down below and your thoughts about my objectively correct list. And with that being said, bye.